Hey, deserving listeners, Darcey and Stacey, let's watch.
I don't know. We'll see how am I going to feel.
Man, it's sad. Hey, how are you girls? I hear, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, so an apology and a hug. It looks like it was mutual. And I guess maybe they made up, or maybe this is them making up, or they're just saying goodbye and they don't want it to be weird, so they're being polite. I guess we'll find out.
All right, everything fits. Sorry for this weekend. Sorry, about all the drama and everything.
Okay, so he's apologizing. I hope that he is specific about what he's apologizing for, because as I've realized watching these shows and listening to politicians and public figures, in today's world, or maybe it had always been this way, people will say they're sorry. They'll say the words, I'm sorry, but they're not actually sorry. So you have no idea. He has the face of someone who's sorry. He's using the words of someone who's sorry as a topic sentence, but is he actually sorry? Maybe we'll find out.
Sorry for this weekend. Sorry, about all the drama and everything. In general, I wanted everybody to enjoy it and have fun. And I feel bad about it.
In general, I wanted everyone to be happy and everyone to have fun. He did everything in his power behaviorally to ruin everything that night. What do you mean you wanted everyone to have fun? If you wanted everyone to have fun, just be chill. You're just constantly badgering her. And I guess maybe he believes that he has the right to do that because they had sex or they had gotten together, according to him, in recent days. And that is just not true. It's literally against the law that if you previously had a relationship with someone and in that moment they are saying no to you, get away from me, stop, you can't proceed. Just because you once someone gave consent once, that doesn't mean consent for life. It's well understood, and of course this is what rapists and criminals will use as a myth in order to propagate their violence and misogyny and abuse. I don't understand what's going on with Georgie. Has he always been this way? Is this just for the show? Did he have a brain fart? Is he particularly sad about their breakup? I don't know. It's just completely out of left field, in my opinion.
Still unacceptable what happened. Never expected it to turn out to be this way.
Me either. It just was so many trigger points that, in a way, become too much. Trying to talk to you, you ignoring me, also seeing you texting this guy, jealous about that.
And that's even more of a red flag. If he just said, look, I just really missed you, or I was drunk, or I don't know, then I would think that it was of a certain level of concern. But the fact that he was jealous that she was dating other people after, presumably, the two of them broke up a long time ago, and that gave him the right, or in the moment it felt like it was okay to do what he did, that is even more concerning, because it says that he believes that he has the right to step in the way, that he owns her somehow. I just don't understand.
And I was kind of confused, you ignoring me the whole trip and you don't want to talk with me. But a couple weeks ago, we hooked up.
And I didn't want anybody to know what happened. That's between us. And I think we both got vulnerable in that moment.
All right, so she's confirming, and she's saying that she didn't want people to know. I think the cameras, I guess. And she's saying that she was vulnerable. We were both vulnerable in that moment. Okay. And I suppose this lends itself to a larger discussion of when you break up, how do you refrain from going back to a past relationship that you know you probably shouldn't for a variety of reasons. And the key is that you have a lot of measures in place, people that you can talk to, distractions, and also you might want to limit your alcohol use, because that's a frequent hey you up sort of text motivation or risk. Also having close attachments in your life that you can depend on that can be fulfilling to you. It might not be a romantic attachment, but, people that make you feel like you matter, that you're in contact with.
You give me hopes in the wrong way maybe.
Talk to me about Georgie. Did you and Georgie hook up?
The whole hookup thing with Georgie just happened randomly. He was in town. We met up. It was right after the Cicero thing. And I just felt very...
Well, there it is. I mean, I don't want to say it like that, but I remember thinking after the whole Cicero thing that there was a risk there and a pattern, or I was predicting that Darcey would go back to Georgie because of that, against what she would want. Even though in my head, at that point, I thought maybe it'd be a good idea to give it another try. I didn't suspect it would work really, but at that point I didn't know Georgie was capable of what he was at the bachelorette party. But it was a thought I had of like, this would be one of those moments. And that's another thing to think about when you're trying to fully end a past relationship, is if you're going to engage in dating, there's a chance that you're going to hit a bit of a doldrum or a valley in dating, right? You're either rejected or you can't find anyone that really gets to, that you're attracted to or that will date you or something. And it's tempting to go back to that relationship as an ego boost, as someone that can make you feel like you matter, make you feel attractive, make you feel like you have hope for the future. And if two people understand what's going on and one person isn't being exploited, then okay, maybe it's not the end of the world. There's nothing inherently wrong with that or inherently unhealthy about that. But often it is something that people will regret. It seems like for her it was regrettable. It seems like for her she would have rather have not done that. So if she had a therapist, for example, that she could talk to about it, maybe it would have helped her to navigate the waters. But you just imagine the depths that anyone would go through, even people that have secure attachment, when you get dumped by someone during a dating or really any situation, but even during dating, you're going to be, have a couple glasses of wine, you're sitting there at night, you're lonely, you're by yourself, and you're just like, hey, if I text this person, they're going to text me back. And that'll feel good. And I text them, they text me back. I might even kind of flirt. And then they're really going to flirt with me because I know they want to be with me. So that makes me feel good. I mean, it's just instant, the gratification. And it could be shooting yourself in the foot. So you just need to have a lot of measures. And people don't usually do anything about it. They're just like, well, I've made a choice and I'm not going to contact that person. And I'm just not going to. And what I tell people, and science has demonstrated this, that willpower does nothing. Willpower does not work with anything. It doesn't work with changing a habit like exercise or diet. It doesn't work in situations like this. But somehow we believe that to be true as Americans. You just have to have willpower, discipline. That's never worked. The data demonstrates that. So the thing that works are systems. You need preemptive, proactive measures that you put in place. Like a classic example is someone who's trying to recover from alcoholism. Everyone understands in that world that you can't just white knuckle it and have willpower. It just doesn't work. You need to tell everyone, don't offer me drinks. You need to not go to bars. You need to get rid of all the alcohol in your house. You need to stop hanging out with friends that drink. You need to have you need to sponsor. You need 10 phone numbers of other AA members. There's a lot of practices. It's habit. It's a system in place. And that goes, that's true for any major habit change that you have to go through. People, when they're trying to work out more, one of the best things you can do is you can get a workout crew together, or you go to a class where you know that other people will miss you when you're not there, and so it motivates you. There's a system in place. You can't just do it on your own. Of course, that doesn't necessarily work, but my point is that Darcey is normal in this way, that she probably didn't have any measures in place, and she's particularly vulnerable given her issues.
Very vulnerable and lonely. He was feeling the same way and took it to the bedroom. But it was a hookup. I regret it, because I don't want him to think that it's something that's going to keep us back together.
And I pray to God that people aren't blaming her for this. The show, I think, is editing it in that direction to make it seem like, well, Darcey, once again, this is all your fault. You shouldn't have slept with him that one night. And the answer to that is no. He's a grown man. He can make a choice. I mean, we don't really know the situation, but I'm just going to, throw that out there. And also, just because she slept with him one night does not mean that she is consenting to touching and invasion and bothersome behavior from him for the rest of her life. So that's just flat out the situation, period.
What happened in Miami was one night, and I just wanted to forget that.
I feel upset that this hookup for Darcey don't mean anything. I kind of feel in a way used, because if I want to hook up, I can go hook up with anybody else.
Now, his feelings there are valid and understandable. Feeling used during a vulnerable time for her, that she would just abuse her situation with him. She knew that he wanted to get back together with her. She knew that she didn't want to get back together with him and led him on or something like that, seemingly. So that's all true as well.
You don't need to be Darcey, but I still love her. And I was hoping we can take a step ahead between me and her in our relationship.
And along the lines of Darcey should have had a system in place, so should people in Georgie's position, that they should have a support system. They should have some preemptive, proactive measures in place, policies, if you will, maybe even blocking the person's phone number, because they might, during their time of vulnerability, get a call from someone like Darcey, and against their better judgment, hook up with the person because they believe in a pipe dream that isn't likely to come true. I don't know. It's just hard to know what's really going on between the two of them. But, if you have someone that does this to you, that Darceys you, if you will, then you also need to be proactive to protect yourself.
You were, shutting me down. Like I couldn't be free to speak and be me.
But the fun have limit.
Listen,
Huh?
I feel like we need to talk to somebody that's going to help us learn to communicate better in our relationship, in our marriage.
For me, it's not going to change nothing.
So normally I'd be really excited and happy for them if I thought that they were actually going to real therapy with a real therapist for an extended period of time necessary to actually help them. I would just take a guess based on what I've seen on the show that they would need a good 3+ years of couple therapy. Maybe not every week, maybe every other week, but a lot of time. There's a lot of things to go over, I think, between the two of them. There's a chance that for her in particular, there's a lot to go over, a lifetime of traumas to unpack. Although she seems to function pretty well compared to Darcey, but I don't know. I could see therapy opening a can of worms for her that would take a long time to sift through, which is fine. A lot of people have that. So normally I'd be excited, but I suspect it's just going to be one episode that they film for the show, and then that's it.
It is kind of spooky, sexy.
Yeah. Seeing Zach again, it's actually even cuter than what I remember. Just getting butterflies. The fact that he took charge and ordered appetizers and some big, sexy blue drink for us to share shows that he cares and that he's into me.
Yeah, but given what, I don't know. I feel like every time anything happens on the show, I'm going to be like, normally I'd think that's fine, but under these circumstances, since we've been here before, I don't know if this is so fine, because we've been here before where she would have a date like this and praise him and go too far in her brain instead of just seeing where it goes. Okay, well, if you didn't know, we're having our 15th anniversary in September of 2023. We're going to have a live event, 15 hours of a live show spread out over a Saturday and Sunday. We'll make announcements of that at some point. Also, if you want to send a package for us to open up during the live show, a 15th anniversary gift or something, usually people will send something funny or touching or something. Also, if you want to send us fan art to look at during the live stream, that would be great. And here's my thing to y'all is when people make fan art, they will often make it of me, which is flattering and amazing, and I love it, and I put it on my office door. But here's the problem. When people come over to my house and they walk by my office door, they just see a giant narcissistic shrine of my face in various different art forms, which some of them are just out of this world, if you've ever seen it. But if you could send in some other kind of fan art, like fan art that involves you, like you're we're in an alternate universe where we're hanging out together, or you're watching the show, or I don't know, maybe other cast members and me or something, or the other cast, the other co-hosts, Umberto or Bob or Rebecca, something like that, or maybe my wife or my dogs. I don't know. Just something other than my giant mug on the door would sort of blend it out a little bit on my office door. So yeah, only if you want to, of course. And again, the address is on our website. I always like to get kind of a hard copy of it. If I get a digital copy, I can print it out, but it's always good to get the actual thing. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.